everyone. We are live. Patchwork Party live. Woohoo! Well, we sure miss having you all in the store to do this, but here we are, and we're going to do it live on Facebook. So sit back, hold on, because I kept adding things today to show you, and all of a sudden I went, I think I have too much stuff to show you. So I hope you don't have anything else planned for this evening, because I've got a lot of fun things to show you. Lots of new things have come in since the last time I saw you. And actually, there were so many new things coming in that I can't even show them to you tonight. So we'll have to come on in between and show you some new things as the weeks progress. So welcome to Patchwork Party Live. And I'm not even sure where to start now. We've got some new little notion. Well, one notion is new, one we've had for a little while, but I just want to make sure that everybody's seen it because it's a really nice little thing, and it's a great little gift to give to either quilters or other people. So let me get started with that. So this little guy, and I'm going to have Joe kind of come up close so that you can see it. I'm probably going to flip it down like this so you can see it. This is a magnifying needle threader. So I don't know if he can see that. First of all, there's a little light and there's a needle in there. So you've seen that pretty well. I'm going to set it down. Couple really nice things about this needle threader, because we all have problems threading needles, correct? You put this down on the table, and then you have both hands free to thread your needle. And it also comes with a little itty bitty needle threader that you can use in there. So you can see how well that magnifies your needle as well as the needle threader to help you thread your needle. The other thing that's nice about this is that you can also use it on your sewing machine and hold it up against your sewing machine needle and thread your sewing machine needle using this as well. And I kind of lay it down on its side. How about this? I kind of lay it down on its side, and while laying it down on its side, you can see your sewing machine needle through there to thread it, so you don't need to use both hands as well. So, and you can tell that it has a nifty little light, little battery operated light that turns on and off. So you could also use it for reading or anything else that you need to magnify. Great little project, or a great little thing to help you with your projects and threading needles, because we all have problems with that. So that's my first little nifty notion for tonight. So all of the things that I'm showing you tonight are on our website in the shopping area under Patchwork Party. And we have a code, which I can't remember what the code is, PP20, I think. So anything in the Patchwork Party, I know Jill's looking at me, she's going, I don't know, that was your job, Karin. So it should be PP20. Anything in the Patchwork Party area of the website is 20% off through the end of the week. So if that doesn't work, it's my fault, and I will get it fixed like quickly. But I think I did it. I think I did. But okay, so the other nifty notion that I have for you tonight is this little disc. We should have a guessing game. What is this, and what would you use it for? Well, last month and a few months ago, we've talked about how to clean your wool mat. And now I'm getting kind of a system in which after I finish a quilt, I clean off my wool mat, and I'm now cleaning off my cutting mat. Because, those are two kind of expensive things that we use every single time we quilt. So we want to keep our wool mats clean as well as our cutting mats. And your cutting mat, and I don't know how, I wish we had feel-o-vision or whatever, how they used to have smell-o-vision. Now, I wish we had feel-o-vision, because if you go over and feel your mat, don't do it right now, but when you go over and feel your mat, not only do you have these little grooves in here, but you can feel it feels kind of fuzzy. So what this does is not only does it smooth out some of those rough little grooves, but it pulls out all of your little threads that get embedded in those little grooves. And when you get threads and a lot of little grooves in your cutting mat, your blade starts to take that little curve as it goes through. So sometimes it won't be as smooth. Now this, you can rub and rub and rub and rub. And I really rubbed on this one a lot. when I first did it, and it does not take the lines off of your cutting mat. Why that is, I don't know how they figured that out, but it is actually smoothing this out, and it's pulling out all of those little threads. And I'm not going to stand here and do this whole thing, but once you do it once, if you do it after every quilt project, it'll only take you a few minutes to go over the whole top of it, and it'll be nice and smooth and ready for your next project. So once you do this, you then just take a damp cloth and just rub over the top of it, and that also helps to smooth out your little grooves, and it pulls off any little threads and fuzzies and dirt on your mat. So do this every time you finish a quilt, and you will keep not only your cutting mat nice and clean and ready to go, but your wool mat too. So I clean off my little wool mat, I clean off this, and then I'm ready to go on my next project. So these are on the Patchwork Party section of our website. So cleans it up, helps to heal that, and keeps you stitching and cutting nice and straight. So those are my first two really fun projects, or ideas. The next thing, let's see, what can I show you? Let's look at some new things. So this is that great All Hallows Eve line of fabric that everybody has loved, and they have reprinted it, and now they are reprinting it again because it is out. So when we run out of these, which we have a lot and we have some in the back, more is coming in November, I believe. So Debbie Yako did this beautiful quilt, which I have wanted to do, but have not had time. It is from a book called Witch's Night Out, and we have these books in stock as well with the patterns. And so you don't have to make the entire quilt. I'm thinking I'd like to grab a couple of these little designs and just like the cat or the hat and just make little pillows, make little placemats, little wall hangings. So if you don't have time or a place to hang the whole quilt, you can just take a couple of these blocks and make something small out of it. This would be great. You could do like these 3 pumpkins and then do something else in the middle of a table runner and put the 3 pumpkins on either end. Really super cute. So the fabric is a lot of fun, and we have that in stock. This is a little boo pillow. We have the patterns for these, and we will be making little kits. So it has a little bit of rickrack. Their pattern, they did little French knots. I put little beads on, so we'll put little beads and put little kits together for this. But we have the pattern, and the pattern has probably, I think, 4 or 5 other little pillow projects for Halloween in there.
Is the pattern up on the website?
The pattern is up on the website. So if you're interested in a pillow, let's comment in the area below, and let them know that you want a kit of the pillow when it comes in. So tonight, I didn't tell you, but tonight at the end of Patchwork Party, we're going to give away 5 $5 gift cards. So be sure to comment on our video, and be sure to like us. Like our YouTube, like our Facebook, and like our YouTube channel. And that way you'll see whenever we do another video, you will be right there. And you'll see it as soon as it comes out. So let me come over here and show you this fabulous fabric. I made this quilt. I actually worked on 2 quilts over the weekend. And I did this one on Friday. And it is from Buttermilk Basin. And it's called Blessed Beyond Measure, because it's all sewing themed. So some people were asking if we were going to do a block of the month because they thought all of these were applique, but they're not. It's a panel. And of course it's the panel that's on the bottom of all these panels that I was going to show you, but that's okay. I'm just going to slide these on the ground. So the panel is really big. It's a yard long panel. Most panels are about 2/3 of a yard, but this panel is a yard. And I have it upside down. This is the panel right here. So I cut those panel pieces apart, and the little black and white corners are half square triangles in the quilt. And then there's just sashing. So these are little half square triangles, and you take your block, put a little fabric going on either end, and then square it off on the corners with little half square triangles. then it's just sashed. It was so super fun, super fast and easy to do. So we're still working on putting kits together for that, but all of the fabrics and the panels for this line are on the website, and then we will have kits available as well. This is another really fun panel that comes along with this line of fabric. So this I'm going to do some fun things with. I might make little wall hangings for your sewing area. They'll be fun hanging around the store. So I might come up with some little fun projects to do with this. And we might just do a little fun creating with Karin video on how to do some fun things with this. So stay tuned for that. Keep your eyes out open for that. Whoops.
Karin, what's that fabric line called?
It is called Blessed Beyond Measure. And it's a big line. It has all of these down here, and these coming all the way across here are all in the reds and the creams and the whites and the blacks. So it's a really pretty line. And you know, Buttermilk Basin, she does all those little itty bitty ditsy prints. We also have some other projects that we're going to be working on as well with this line. For whatever reason, the fabric came, but the patterns didn't. So the patterns are on the way, and we have some table runners and table toppers and things like that. So if you're not up for doing a big quilt, you can do some small projects to put in your sewing room with all the little sewing motifs on them. They also have layer cakes and jelly rolls and charm packs. So we'll be using some of those in some of the smaller projects as well when those come in. And those are on their way. They're on a truck coming this way. So that's a really fun fabric line. Let me show you this really pretty table runner. It's metallic, has a little gold metallic in it. Joe's going to come up closer, and I'm going to show you how to do these little hexie blocks. It's all little hexie triangles. So I'm going to show you how to do those. They were really fun, super simple. It's a really fun table runner. You could make it longer if you wanted to. And it wouldn't just have to be Christmas. Think of red, white, and blue. Think of fall colors. Think of just colors that go in your kitchen, in your house. It's really super fun. So what you do is you start out, and you need three color waves for your strip set. So you're going to make 3 different strip sets. Now in the instructions, they used a variety of lights, a variety of mediums, and a variety of dark. In mine and in my kit that you have, I just used 1 fabric as my light fabric, 1 fabric for my dark, and 1 for my medium. And so that's how I made mine. But you could go into your stash. It's done with 2.5-inch strips. So you could go into your stash and pull all kinds of lights, all kinds of mediums, all kinds of darks, and really make it super scrappy. But I just kept it kind of simple. So you start out by making a series of, you need a light and a dark strip. So this was my light, I'm sorry, let me go back. This was my medium, my light and my dark strip. Okay. Then I have a medium and a dark. So this is my medium colored strip. This is my dark colored strip. And then I had a medium and a light strip. So those are the 3 color combinations that you need. You need a light and a dark, a medium and a dark, and a medium and a light. So what they did is they combined. They might have had 2 or 3 different light ones with 2 or 3 different medium ones. That sort of thing. But I just kept mine all the same. So I made my strip sets. And then they have, on the pattern, they have a template. But if you have a 60-degree triangle ruler, you can use this. And a lot of you have it because you've made the 60-degree triangle table runners. So a lot of you have this in your stash. Did I put it on? I think I put it on the Patchwork Party sale area. If I didn't, I will remember to do that. But I'm pretty sure that I'm like 99% sure that I did. So if you don't have one and you wanted to get one, it'll be 20% off in the Patchwork Party area.
And what's that called, Karin?
60-degree triangle ruler. And of course I don't have a cutter here, but that's okay. So what you're going to do is simply take and line up the tip of your 20 or your 60-degree ruler, the little small tip, up along the edge of your fabric, and you'll cut here and here. You've done this before. Then you're going to flip and you're going to cut here. Then you're going to flip it again and you're going to cut here. Thank you. This place is not short on cutting utensils. So you're going to take and you're going to cut. And you're going to do that all the way along. Of course, they may not be sharp cutting utensils. Not at all. There we go. Did we get it here? There, we got it. Okay, then I'm going to flip my ruler. I'll line up my little point with the edge of my fabric and cut. And I'm going to do that all the way down. Now, the instructions tell you which direction to press your seam. And that's really important because if you do that correctly, I think all the ones with dark fabric, it's pressed towards the dark. And this one is pressed towards the light. So the light and the dark one is pressed towards the light. And the medium and light one is pressed towards the medium. So that's really important because as you put all these together, when you press them correctly, your seams are going to nest really nice and you'll have a really nice seam there. Okay, so I press those in the direction that it tells you. I also took and I made my seam, my stitch length on my seam. I took that down to 2 from 2.4. Okay, so I made my stitch length a little bit smaller so that these, as we're working with them, your seams won't pop open. And I didn't do that on this one. So you can see how that my seam is popping open a little bit right there. So make your seam line, your seam stitch a little bit smaller. Make it down to 2. Even 1.9 is fine. Okay, so when I made my strip sets, I pressed them either towards the dark or towards the light or towards the medium, whatever the instructions told me to do. Then you'll use the instructions and it will tell you to make these little half hexy sets. What's a half hexy? Sexy? No. It's just, I don't know, maybe it depends on the fabric you use. Anyway, so these little half hexy pieces. So you'll be sewing sets of 3 of these pieces together. So, and there's just going to be four exceptions because you're going to need corner pieces, and it will tell you which pieces to sew together to make your corner pieces, and those you're just going to do 2 so that you get your kind of angled corner here. So you'll have 2 sewn together here, 2 here, 2 sewn together on this end, and 2 sewn together for this end. And your instructions will tell you which pieces to sew together to do that. So then you will sew a series of 3 of these pieces together, and they will tell you, you know, how many of these you need and how many like this do you need and how many like that you need. And so you sew those together, nest them, nest your seams, and then use a really good 1/4-inch seam, and then I press these seams open instead of towards one way or the other. Okay, it makes it just nice so that when you come down to this little point down here, it's much flatter by using an open seam. I know you don't like open seams, but you can do it for these. So I pressed these seams open. Now I know a lot of people don't like these little dog-eared things that stick out. Don't cut those off yet. A lot of times I'll cut those off on my half square triangles and things, but on this you want these little guys sticking out. And I'm going to show you in a second why. So you're going to sew a series of these. You're going to sew a series of these, and then the instructions will tell you which ones to sew together. Because what you're going to do is sew this in a great big long strip like this. Okay, so you're going to end up sewing 4 long strips. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Okay, once you sew your long strips together, you'll attach these two, and then both halves. Alrighty? So when you're sewing these together, you're going to take one and one is going to be facing this direction. Your next one will be facing the opposite direction. Okay, so you can see how you're going to start to get that long strip going. Then your next one will be facing like this one does. And so you'll kind of alternate those as you go along. So now when you lay this piece, and maybe it'll be easier to see on the light. So now when you lay this piece on top of this piece and you line up your edges, let me get them lined up and then Joe can show you up close. These little tick marks that are sticking out, this little point is going to match up with this little dog ear that's sticking out. And the same down here. This little dog ear that's sticking out is going to match up with your point there. Okay, so then once you sew your 1/4 inch will start here and it'll end here right where that little V is. So these little points help you to kind of get those lined up just perfectly.
Karin?
Okay, yes.
What's the name of this pattern? Is it sitting on the table next to you?
It is. Right under here. The little sexy hexy table runner. Not what it's called at all. It is called, they called it solitaire whites in the black. So that's not a very good name. Because when they did theirs, they did it out of blacks, creams, and whites. So they used 4 different blacks, 4 different creams, and 4 different whites. We didn't do that. So I think we called it Christmas Hexy or something like that. I don't know what they did with the kits. But we did make kits for it. And it should be showing up on the website someplace along the line. So it should be there somewhere. I just don't know what they called it. It's actually on the floor over there under that apron. So that would probably give you the name of it. So that's pretty much my story in that. You're going to, like I said, sew these together in a great big long line. So you could make this longer. You could make it shorter. I ended up with all of these extras. And so now you could just kind of play. You could make little smaller mats for your table. You could make little candle mats and things for Christmas. Really cute and fun. So that's my story on that. Any other questions on that? Really fun, simple project to do. And those hexies always look really cool once you get them onto a placemat or a table runner or wherever you're putting them. So I've got all kinds of these to play with. Who knows what I'll come up with next? Might come up with something for next time. Okay, so I'm going to set that aside. My other little hexy table topper here is called something else. Let me just hop over and grab these so that you know the names of these as I go along. I should probably write the names down. Okay, so this is Hexy Holiday Runner. How about that? We got really clever with the name on that one. And this one that I'm working on, they called Pine Tree Star Topper.
Karin?
Yes.
I'm sorry to interrupt.
Oh, you can.
Can you let people know that if it's not online tonight, we'll get these online by tomorrow?
Yep, we will. Or even tonight. I'll go home and do it tonight while I...
Okay, I'm trying to make notes of which ones
if
aren't
something's
on
not
there
on there.
yet.
Yeah, because the girls were making the kits, and as they were making them, I was trying to make sure that they got on there. But I might have missed a thing or two. But they'll be on there for you. And you have all week to order. So you can stop and take a look. This is made from, this is called Pinecone Lodge, I think, or something, from Moda. And it is a brushed cotton. So it's it's not that nice double thick flannel that we have in the Nomies fabric and from Henry Glass. A lot of times it's a little bit thinner, but it really makes a pretty table topper. So I'm going to put a little Christmas tree, put this on a table and put a little Christmas tree in the middle. I think it'll be really cute. This is a fun do it in an afternoon project, and even the backing comes with this project. So isn't that pretty? I love this fabric. So what I wanted to do is give you a little bit of a tip on how to sew your binding. This binding I sewed on by machine. And sometimes I like to sew my bindings on by hand. Sometimes I like to sew them on by machine. But, you know, a lot of people don't like to do it because when you're stitching, you find that your stitching kind of runs off and it's not straight and it's not even. And no matter how hard you try, sometimes you miss it on the back and stuff. So let me give you a little tip for doing this. So when I do this binding, I've gone all the way around. And I'm going to pull my iron board over here. I come all the way around and I kind of do each side individually. I just have this one side left that I haven't done. And I kind of do each one side at a time as I go around. So the first, I always, when I machine sew on a binding from the front as well as from the back, and not hand sew it from the back, I make my binding 2.5 inches. Otherwise, a lot of times I'll just do it 2 1/4. But when I'm doing it and I'm putting it on by machine, it's just easier to work with if you do it at 2.5. So I have sewed my binding going all the way around, and then I'll take and I press it from the front, and I make sure that I get a nice crease going here. Then I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to line up, give it a nice press back here, and then I'm going to line up my fold along my little stitching line. So you can see my stitching line here. This is going to come over the top and just cover that line of stitching. And then I fuss with it a little bit right here and make sure that my little corner is nice and tucked.
Karin,
here and
what's
here.
this one called?
This one was called, where'd it go? This one was called Pine Tree Star Topper. The other one was called Holiday Hexie Table Runner. So now I've got this nicely folded. Now, you know that you're not, pinning this is not going to work because it makes everything move. Binder clips work really, really well. But then I find when I get up and I'm sewing up to it and I pull it out, my fabric will move again. So remember our really fun little wonder tape that we had from last time? And where's my scissors? Right here. I take and I cut, and it doesn't have to go all the way from corner to corner. I cut a little piece of my wonder tape and I tuck it under here. Now remember that this is actually a little bit long. I would cut it a little bit shorter, like about here to about here. So just so that it's holding it pretty much in place. Push it down and then get it started. Now remember that this is not permanent, so you can't just use this. There are some tapes that you can use that are permanent, and you just tape it down and go. But I don't mind that it's not permanent. I'm going to just lay this over. Now this is going to hold this in place. This is not going to move. This is stuck on there. This is not going to move the whole time that I am stitching. Okay, I'm going to flip this around, and then I'm going to stitch right in that ditch. And so I've used the same colored thread on the front and on the back so that you can't see it. It just blends right in. I'm going to stitch in the ditch right along there. This is not going to move. And as I'm stitching in the ditch, when I stitch in the ditch, it's going to be stitching almost right directly on top of that little stitching line. So that's where it's going to stitch along here. So as long as you've laid this down straight and covered up your stitching line, when you stitch in the ditch, it's going to stitch nice and close right to the edge, and it's going to be beautiful. Nobody will even be able to see that you stitched it by machine, and it's going to catch it all the way through. So you won't get areas where it catches it and where it doesn't, because that is I understand how frustrating that is. So just another way to use that wonder tape and to help you do your project. So we always like lots of different ways to use things as we go along. So that's my story on that. Let's, we'll continue to move around. I have a new quilt, another quilt that I'm excited to get to the quilter. This is called, I think this one's called Pinecone Lodge. This one's called Pinecone Lodge. It's that beautiful double flannel from Henry Glass. And it's just your great up north quilt, just your great winter quilt. It's not Christmas. It's got ice skates. It's got all kinds of fun things, and the words are fun, little skiers. Words, they're always fun. Mittens and hats. So this is going to be a kit online. I think it's online already, not sure. But they were working on getting this done because, like I said, we're getting stuff in as quick as it gets in. We try to make something and get it to the quilter and get it up for you. So this is just a really fun project. Just big half square flying geese to make your star points. And you're going around did you get off?
I think so.
Oh, okie dokie. You can holler if we didn't. I'm just going to lay this right here. This is the panel. So it's a panel and go with. And I lost my panels when I moved stuff. Here it is. This is the panel. So those are your panel pieces. So really fun up northy, lodgy, warm, cuddly. Hopefully we won't need it too soon. But I like the little sweater. So really pretty. So there'll be kits for that. The fabric is online as well and ready to go. So that just came in the middle of last week, I think.
Karin,
Yes.
does the iron count on tonight's discount?
I did not put them in, but I will. Leave me a note and I'll pop it on there for you. So talking about irons, our spray bottles are almost here. So they sent me, these are our new little spray bottles. Aren't they cute? They're very cute. So they sent me about a dozen of them, and then I looked at them and I didn't like the quality of the workmanship. So I reached out to them and they're reprinting all of them. So they said another 7 to 10 days to reprint all of our bottles. I guess we got the new guy, or the machine wasn't heated up, or I don't know. But they just weren't quite right. But really cute. These are on the website. When you purchase them, they come packaged with a small bottle of Best Press to get you started. So that's how they're packaged, and I know those are on the website. I know I got those up. Yes.
Can you talk a little louder? We have some people that are having trouble hearing you, and they have their computers up as loud as they can go.
Oh, really? Okay. I'm usually too loud. Okay. Yes. All right. So we also have, I'm not sure if I showed you this last time or not, but we got new little packages of colored elastic for whatever projects you're doing. You know, we won't be making masks forever, I hope. But they're fun to use for masks. They're 1/4 inch and 5 yards in each little package. And you can see the colors. We've got green, blue, gray, purple, and red, along with our black and our white in the 1/8 inch and the 1/4 inch. And so these are just fun little ones to add to your masks or purses or projects that you're doing. So those are on there. Then I also kind of, in conjunction with that, we also got bias tape. Some people are using bias tape to make masks, but sometimes you need bias tape to biased binding to go around things. So these are the colors that they come in. You purchase them by the yard. These are done by Moda, so we also have grunge ones coming in. So we'll have some in the grunge fabric to match our grunge by the yard fabric. So this is this wide, however wide this is. I don't think it says. But it's just folded in half here. So you can pop it together, fold it again, and you still have a nice size piece of bias tape to go around something. So this is how it's sold, and it is, of course, on the bias. So it will stretch. So if you're going around a curve or something like that, it'll be perfect for that. Then we also have the By Annie elastic down here. This is a foldable elastic. So some people are using these for masks as well. They'll fold it and stitch it around the mask and use it. Or for purses, you know, pretty soon we'll be making a bunch of purses and they use this in their purses. So we'll be adding a lot of the By Annie items as time goes by, and we'll be starting to make some purses. But they have fabulous colors in these. And I've also found that you can cut on this little fold that they have on here, and it doesn't pull apart. So if this is too wide, there's that little fold line you can see there. You can cut on that fold and it doesn't like fray away. So that was kind of cool. So we've got all of those nifty colors as well. What else can I show you? Oh, people, well, let me do this one since we're here. I was working on this weekend, and I thought I was going to get it done, and then I just didn't. So this is over here, Homegrown Holiday by Moda, and it's a little, this is on our website, and it comes in this beautiful box. You know, they always package these all up so nicely. So this is your little kit. This is how your little kit comes. Then you get a little notepad, all kinds of fun things in there. So it comes together in a kit like this. And we also have the jelly rolls that match this. So this is what my quilt will look like when it's finished. It's 54 by 59. So it's kind of a nice little size. And the colors are so pretty. So I started out with the truck because I had to make the truck first. So I made my truck. So that's how big the truck is, because it's kind of hard to tell. This is part of the panel that's on there. So that's the truck. And then there's the fun trees. The trees are always fun to do, and I have one upside down. I can see it already. There's one tree. There's another. And then the two strips on the side I have sewn together, and they look like this. So these are the panel pieces for those. So I'll just kind of hold this. So the center block, that little star is pieced. These are panel pieces, and this was pieced together. So just little hourglass blocks with little squares on each side to finish them off. And then this is the other strip that's going to go on the other side. So we're getting there. So now I just have to sew all my pieces together and add my border, which is really pretty. So that was a fun project. So this took me probably, the truck took me like a long afternoon and part of an evening, and these took me the rest of like on Sunday till about 5 o'clock. So it was dinner time. Then I gave up. But yeah, so I got a lot more done than I thought I was going to get done on that, because I didn't think I was going to get that far. Alrighty, so what else can I show you? These are called a Tisket a Tasket. They are the most fun little bags to make. I've made 3 of them now. You can make them in, oh, I did a Halloween one. I filled them up with candy. So a Halloween one with this cute little Halloween fabric. It takes 2 fat quarters. And quite frankly, I think I would try one with 3. I haven't done it yet because this flips over so you see your lining from the other side. It would be fun to flip it over and have another little fabric here. So 2 fat quarters and you are good to go. And you just make these little straps and make a little bag and stitch it on. It took me maybe an hour to make one bag. So you could make a whole bunch of these. These would be great if you had a little shower, if you were doing a little bridal shower or baby shower, and make some of these as little prize bags for people. Really cute. Fun, fun, fun. I thought like this one, it has little popcorn boxes on the side. It would be fun to put a little bag of popcorn and the little flavored popcorn salts and things in there. So you could do all kinds of little things and give as little gifts for these. So really fun. This one is the little Tula Pink sewing line, the homemade sewing line. So you could fill it up with fat quarters and give it to a quilting friend. So really fun, really fast, cool little projects. You go into your stash and use up fat quarters and make those. So the patterns are on our website. Okay, what else do I have? Oh, this beautiful quilt. This is Yuletide by Dan DePaulo, and this is made from a panel. These are panel pieces, so he actually has 2 panels in his line as well. So this is the panel. I'll come around, I think it's easier. This is the panel that I used in that quilt project. So you're using the long pieces, and then you're using these little squares. The little squares are used in the little star blocks. So some of the squares are used in, I'm going to try not to turn around because when I talk to the wall, then it's hard to hear. So we use some of the little panel pieces up in these little squares, as well as the little star blocks. So really pretty. And then there's the little star blocks that you stitch as well. Those were a little putsy, I do have to say, but they turn out really, really super cute. And it's just such a pretty quilt project.
What's that one called again?
It's Yuletide by Dan DePaulo. And then this is another panel. We haven't done anything with this yet, but this is another panel that goes along with this line of fabric by Dan DePaulo. Really pretty. So it'll be fun to do something with that. I'm thinking of doing something with the joy, and then where those little red berries on the trees are, maybe put some little beads on there. That could be fun. So I think I'm going to play around with that coming up really soon. Pretty soon. Okay, so that's that line of fabric. And that should be up on, that I know is up on the website. So there's kits for that as well. This line is called, I'm not sure. Let's see if I can find part of it. I think this is part of it. Holiday Heartland. We have so many things that are called Holiday Heartland, Holiday Homestead, Holiday. They are all kind of named the same thing. So it's hard to remember what something is called. But look at how cute this is. Built for a quilter. Cute farm. This is a panel pattern that we have. I can't think of the name of it right off the top of my head. But it's a panel pattern. And so we cut the panels and put in these squares. And then this was just yardage. So all of these little, how cute are those little red and white quilts hanging on the little line with the little birds on there. It's so cute. And then the little farm fabric for the border. So another really fun, fast project that you can make. If you have some other panels that you got and you wanted and you just didn't know what to do with it, this is a great panel project to do. Very simple. It's just kind of blocking or sashing around each panel and sewing them together. So it goes up together really very quickly. The other project that I worked on is also from this little Moda fabric, that's that little flannel, and that's our little spools. And that one is called Holiday Spools. So Holiday Spools. This was fun. We're going to put some instructions in this pattern because I didn't care for the way that it was put together. So I redid my spool tops. I had all of this sewn together and then I ripped it all. First I said some bad words and then I ripped it all out. So to make these little spool tops, what she has you do are make little itty bitty 1.5 inch, that big, 1.5 inch half square triangles. And then you sew them on a little 1.5 inch strip. Then, in order to get this little kind of squared off look up on top, she has you sew another little 1 inch strip across the top. I was like, no. So I cut, I think this was like 5 by 3 or 5 by 2.5 or whatever. 7 by 2.5, 7.5, whatever it is. And we'll put those instructions in your kit. I cut one rectangle and then I snowballed the corners of 2 with a little 1.5 inch square. Done. Done. That's all there is to it. Sometimes, I don't know, it's a great pattern. And then I have to put my star on. So this just came back from the quilter today. And I'm going to applique my red star on the top yet, because we want the, the little red star is really cute. So you can see the rest went together very easily, very, very simply. You put a little, she likes these little 1-inch strips. So I got another 1-inch strip here, here, here to separate them out. And then if you look at mine, I made my tree trunk. I made my tree trunk narrower because I thought this was way too, it just symmetrically just didn't really do it for me. This was like a big brown splotch on the bottom of the quilt project. So we'll put special instructions on that in there as well. So I just made my strips on either side of the brown piece longer and made this narrower. So I thought it kind of looks a little bit better that way. It just seemed like this was too wide for that. But other than that, then we made our inner border wider as well. She put a little 1-inch inner border in there, way too narrow. We thought way too narrow. So we put, I think it was like a 2-inch maybe in there, start unfinished, and then we added our wider border on the outside. And so you'll have enough fabric to do a little bit wider border like we did in your kit as well. So if you like the 1-inch border, you can do that. But we liked it with a little bit wider border. Now, who wants to sew a little 1-inch strip on anything? I don't know, not me. So that's my story on that.
Who's the manufacturer on that pattern?
Nellie's Needle. It's a beautiful pattern. It's really cute. Love this pattern. But I guess I would just kind of do it a little different. A little easier.
There's no quilt pleats.
Yeah. Yeah. We don't want all those little seams in our spools. Okay, what else do I have to show you? Well, how about these bags? So these, we've got a whole series of quilt as you go things. And ladies have been starting to ask for these again. And because all this quilt as you go stuff makes great gifts. They're fun to make. They're fast. They're easy. They're simple. So these are tote bag, quilt as you go tote bags. So what you get in one bag over here, one bag is the printed batting to make a quilt as you go bag. So for this particular one, you get enough batting, and then you also get the bottom stabilizer to make 3 bags. So you can use your scraps, you can use a jelly roll. This one is very jelly roll friendly. It uses 2.5-inch strips to make, you'll end up with 3 different size shopping bags. So 2.5-inch strips to go for your little chevron, chevron in the center. This one takes more than 2.5-inch strips because you end up on this side, you end up with a pocket on this side. And then this one uses all different size strips. So it's a great stash buster. You can use all kinds of different stash fabrics that you have to make these. They make great Christmas gifts. And I use these kinds of bags at the grocery store, so they're always nice. You can never have too many. So this is the Quilt As You Go tote bags.
Is it the Alexandra tote?
No, there should be 3 different tote bags. I thought they called them shoppers or something. Is that just the one that's showing up?
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll get that one on there so you can get all 3. Because the one has all 3 different ones.
Sophie and Alexandra are showing up.
Okay. Huh, I don't think it's the Alexandra.
No, it's similar, but I don't.
Similar, but yeah, like there's one pattern that just does like one tote bag. So there's tote bag. There's practically everything you want. There's tote bags. There's wine bags. And the pattern for the wine bag comes, I was going to put some wine in there so they'd stand up nice. Pattern for the wine comes with 3 wine bags. So you can make 3 wine bags. So these are great gifts. 3 different wine bags. And then there's all kinds of different placemats and table runners. And what happened to the one I opened? Okay, so this is what it looks like when you open it up. So this is a table runner. So you will get enough to do 6 table runners, if I'm not mistaken. 6 table runners, and it tells you how much fabric you need to make them all. And all of your little pieces are numbered. So what I do is I take and I kind of cut these out. You don't have to cut right on the line. You're going to kind of just rough cut around them. Then I use my bone ash and I fuse my backing to the back of my table runner. Okay. Then, or placemat or whatever. Then you'll start and you can see here that they're all numbered. So you lay your number 1 piece down, then you'll lay the piece number 2 right sides together. You'll stitch on the line, flip it and press, and continue. You'll add number 3, right sides together, stitch on the line, flip and press, and continue to go just as the instructions tell you to. And it's like sew by number. And they're so fun. You can use scraps. They go together quickly. And as you sew them, you're quilting them. So you don't have to go back and do quilting afterwards. It's all done by the time you sew all your pieces on. So we've got all of these. We keep all of these in stock. This is a table runner from our little coffee fabric. Really cute. This is another table runner. This is called the Venice table runner. Okay. Then there's placemats. The one set of placemats, and I kind of switched these up. This is the same pattern. Oops, I'm going to flip this way. I guess I'll flip this one right side up too. How about that? Okay, maybe not. This goes this way. Sorry. So this is the same placemat. So this one has the little chevron on it. This one I didn't put a chevron on. This one I just put a plain piece of fabric. So you can see that you can switch these up. You don't have to do all of this. This one has a little pocket to put your silverware or your napkin. Some people say, well, I don't really want a little pocket. Well, this one I just left the pocket off. You don't have to put the pocket on. So I just put a plain piece of fabric, and I actually just added a little strip of another fabric and kind of just decorated this up as opposed to having just one great big long strip of one fabric. I kind of, just scrapped this little piece up and added it on. So you can do a variety of different things and make it different, make it your own, make it fun. Because, it's just a suggestion. So this is exactly the same pattern. And then when I quilted it, I just quilted it along the lines. Where these lines would have gone, I just did a quilt stitch to stitch that on. So really fun, all different kinds. They're on our website. You can look at them. Yeah, there's, I lost it. It was here. There's a tree skirt. There's a really big tree skirt with the sections in. I think we did that last fall as a class when we were doing classes. Here it is. This is the tree skirt. So there's a tree skirt. And then there were a couple new things that I just ordered that I'm waiting to come in, and I can't remember what they were because they were really fun. The little dog bones that you've seen, we have the little dog bone placemats for dogs and cats and things. So they've got all those. So they're a lot of fun, great projects to use up your scraps and to give as gifts. Okay, what else am I missing? Here's a table runner that we made, and that is... I don't know the name of this. This one is done by just strip piecing. So we stripped pieced these 3 together, cut them apart as the instructions said, and then strip pieced these 3 fabrics together, cut them out, and then you just sew them back together. Super fun, super fast, super easy. Another great scrappy project that you can use up your scraps at home from. But really cute. I love this little Halloween fabric that we have, nice and bright and happy. What else have I showed? Have I showed you everything? I don't know. I showed you that. Anything else? Any questions that you have? Anything that you want to see that we haven't showed you? If there's something that you want to learn, there is a quote on the back of that.
What is that quilt called again?
Oh, this one? This is called Blessed Beyond Measure.
Oh, that's right.
And I think she didn't quite get to getting it priced and putting it up. I'm putting it up on the website. So just comment and say, hey, I want a Blessed Beyond Measure one, and we'll give you a call. We'll get them put together, get them cut and put together tomorrow. I just brought it in this morning after doing it over the weekend. So we're trying to get stuff up as quick as we possibly can, but it's not gone because we just got it in and I just pulled it out of the back room for this tonight. So you are the first to see it. You are the first ones. So anything else that you want to see, any questions that you have for me, if there's something that you would like, a technique that you would like us to demonstrate, or something you'd like to learn, let us know. Comment below and let us know, and we will add, I'll add that to our list of things. I'm always looking for fun things, and if you have questions or problems that you have as you're quilting, we want to help you out with that. Absolutely. So make sure you comment, because that puts you in for the drawing for the gift cards tonight, and there will be a separate post with the winners on, because it'll do this auto picking thing. So it will auto pick, and then we will post the winners after the event tonight. So I think we've got everything.
Let people know that we're going to check and see what that code was supposed to be.
Oh, okay.
And
You will check the code. I will check the code as soon as the camera goes off. I will go and make sure the code is correct. It will be whatever it is. It will be PP20, Patchwork Party 20, both P's capital letters. Okay, PP20. So you can finish up your sales as soon as we get off the thing today. I thought I did it, but maybe I didn't. Okay, but we'll double check, make sure it's right for you, because we don't want any frustration. No frustration. We'll put the irons on. Anything else we need to put on? I don't think the bone ash is on there. We can add that tonight. If you see something that I showed tonight that didn't show up in the Patchwork Party section of the sales area, let me know, and we'll pop it on there for you and get you going. Any other questions? Well, thank you, girls, for joining us for Patchwork Party Live. And we will do it again in, this is September already? October, whatever the second Monday of October is. 6 o'clock. And I'm sure I'll be online
The 12th.
telling you about a few things before then. So thank you for joining us, and see you soon. Bye-bye.